Thinking work. All right, grace and peace. They say I'm live. I hope I don't have to. Is there a reflection? Let me see if this thing is working properly. Um. All right, give me 1 second. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. Often takes me a minute to get set up. Tell me if that volume is right. Mello, good to see you. Let me see if I can. If there's a reflection behind me, I don't need that on right there. Um, Let me turn this down. Tally, I see you checking in from VA. Sounds good. All right. Morris, the street preacher. Well, let me see. Let me put my glasses on. Moo Chef, the street preacher. Y'all know I can't see too much. Let me take these things off here. Good to see you checking in from VA. Thank you. I'm going to. I want to talk about some stuff. Taylor, I need you to help me. I'm hope. Hey, Gray, grace and peace. I want to make sure everybody is in here. Oh man, listen. Eric been showing up. I said I don't know what's going on with Eric with that Sunday seminary, but Eric Spanish been showing up. It's good to see you. We're laying low. This Corona thing and all of that stuff. We've been, we've been in different spots every night. But I want to talk. I want to talk about some stuff. A lot of stuff is going on. We've been having the hate mail. And it's the whole Israel thing. The church don't want to deal with Israel whatsoever. Mello, good to see you, man. We appreciate you. And we're my man Charles. Oh, Charles at work. We appreciate you, Charles. We appreciate you, Brown, Jason. I think we're gonna try to get on. We're gonna do a couple of things. I'm gonna I'm gonna be a little. I'm gonna be a little slow with this. Yolanda in here? Sister Yolanda said the other day when we were back and forth, this whole thing going on, um, with the, with the, Christian or urban apologist or whatever, and y'all know out of everybody that was involved in that type of circle, that I was one that was pushing dialogue. Folk don't want to talk. So I told Israel before, y'all just got to move on. We busy beefing, and it hurts me, Taylor. We need to talk because we want to get understanding, but at the same time, we're beefing with who I would consider our brothers and sisters, and Sinetta and them wilding out. I see Sinetta had a sister on there, Sister Carla. I never seen her before, but they say she's a Hebrew. So let me see, shout out to everybody that be sending me this stuff. Somebody sent me the link, and she's a Hebrew sister, and Sinetta going in on her. Why is God a jealous God? The Bible is the white man's book, and all of this other stuff. What's good, Rome? All this other stuff. So we busy arguing because Sister E and them don't want to use the word Trinity, but believe the Son is eternal, the Spirit is eternal, and it's just madness. I'm not going to be involved in that madness. Um, and Yolanda said the other day, Sister Yolanda said the other day, she was like, let's just get to, she said, let's just get back to business. Basically, I'm freestyling what she said, but she said, let's just get back to business, and we're going to do that. I was just talking to Pastor Rose, and there's a lot of people online that don't know certain things, so I'm not going to be wasting my time. Tell me, do me a favor, in the comment section, tell me if I'm freezing. We need to get back to work. We need to, if just type a one in there and everything is going good. Type a one in there. I want to make sure. The reason we got to do this is because there's too many believers that don't know the basics. So we're gonna make sure that we're gonna give a lot of the basics. I don't care what nobody say. We're gonna put this work in, and the work that I'm putting in, and I'm working side by side with all believers. If we believe on the Lord. And like I said, them Hebrew messianics, or who I would call Israel, they believe on the Lord. We can put work in. Y'all never seen me on the platform with Pastor Major, but we moving in the same direction. He deal with answering questions from the book. I bring up these names because these are people that I'm familiar with, that I know love the Lord. So and people that I deal with, the sister E and all of that stuff. People that's been on my panel, people that came on the show, and we've talked, we've discussed, and y'all heard certain things. It bothers me that folk will hear people say stuff, Hear people say to Sunday, they said, leave it alone, Berean. You're doing too much fighting for them. So I don't want to get into that. But there's some people that I'm riding with. There's some people that I'm riding with. Even if you don't see them on here, I'm about my father's business. And I think we've been too focused on gang bang. And I hate to even say that because I was told to drop videos, and I don't want to get into the whole thing, but I got to drop videos, say I love the church. But we got to, sometimes the church can be doing some things that we have to speak against. I can't love something so much. Some of y'all got them cousins. You know your cousin broke in them folk house and the man come home, so now you want to fight? What's going on, Johnson? Your cousin done robbed the man house. Now you want to come and fight your cousin in the wrong because they family you down anyway. So you know he wrong. You know that man TV is in your apartment over there, apartment across the street, and you gonna get out there and you wanna fight them people, and you wanna argue for your cousin that's in the wrong, but he family, so blood stick together. And it's like, and it seems like it's like that with certain communities. I'm not about that. If some wrong is wrong, if somebody's saying wrong, I'm on the side of truth, no matter where it falls. And more of us have to be on it like that. More of us have to be on the side of truth. Now, I'm going to leave certain terminology alone. I'm going to leave certain terminology alone because certain terms bother people. So I see this young lady. Her name is Carla. She's a Hebrew. She's an Israelite. We can't be afraid to expose darkness to which we are called. But when the darkness is in, listen, Taylor, don't come up in here with that stuff. That church hate. Because when the darkness is in the church, when the darkness is in Halloween, let me leave that alone. Because they say that's all you giving them ammunition against us. I ain't giving y'all ammunition. Y'all got the tree. Y'all got the egg. Y'all got the great pumpkin. Y'all got I don't have that. Y'all have that. And y'all talking about Berean giving them ammunition. I'm not thinking about y'all, but the sister name is Carla. Her name was Carla, and she was talking to Sinetta, and Sinetta's questioning her. She didn't do bad, but Sinetta like to question a lot of people that don't know. But to be honest, a lot of people don't know. So we're gonna get out here and we're gonna make sure we putting in this work, and we're gonna be sharing. This is where we need to. I think I've been. Listen, when you getting around and getting a debating and carrying on and all of this stuff, you can talk so much about the book, you forgetting about your father's business. You arguing for the book. You arguing for history. You arguing for European. I can't talk. I can't talk the way I want to talk. I can't talk the way I want to talk, but you arguing for things that's not in the Bible that come from Europe. The tree come from Europe. Let's come on. Y'all ain't get that Christmas tree from Africa. I shouldn't say that. Berean bringing up great truth is just truth. Truth is just truth. Do y'all understand? Y'all see we locked in. We got this. We got this. Of course, we got some of this. We got this. We got everything. I got a few of them. I got this. I got water. I got all of that stuff. So she was talking, and Sinetta started asking her questions, and I want to deal with those questions. I'm going to tell y'all another thing, and whilst I'm doing this, and whilst I'm putting this information out, and whilst we're going to be speaking on, oh Lord, there's Ron Moses, and whilst we're going to be speaking on these things, at the same time, we got to start giving them that business. You hear me, Jerome? Sinetta and them, you can say what you want. I'm going to tell y'all right now, them folk with that comedic spirituality, Egypt was spooked out. We got to talk about the comedic spookism. Oh, they were spooked out. Oh, Amenhotep and them were spooked out. You'll get these guys right now when they'll try to give you what what's the light-skinned brother from South Carolina, John G. Jackson was trying to give y'all. They try to give y'all an atheistic type of, they just believed in the stars and you go back and be one with the universe. No, they believed in the underworld. They believed in spirits. You had to battle. That's why you need the book of the coming forth by day, what they call the book of the dead, so you can have these magical spells. On top of that, there was multiple books of the dead. You had the Papyri Annie. The more money you had, the bigger your Bible was, or the book of the coming forth by day, the bigger your book was. Because somebody else put that up there. Only Allah got so many versions, talking about the NIV, the King James, ESV, and all of that other stuff. We got to start checking them on some of their spookism, and we got to start checking them on some of that other nonsense they talking about, because they talking straight nonsense. Book of the Dead, find two Book of the Deads that were the same, with the same amount of chapters, the same word, the same translator. 99% of them can't even read the Metu Netta. So we got problems all over. They're not gonna come and try to hem me up with the book and have me on the offensive, and don't let them have y'all on the offensive, and they just riding scot free with all that spookism they got coming up out of Kemet. I don't even want to start bringing up. I don't even want to start bringing up some primary sources. And they took the and the semen and listen. Them priests was either bisexual. They talking about, well, this is just allegory. Who could even think up something like that unless their mind wasn't right? But that's the holy priest of Kemet. We're gonna put that down for a minute. But they need to start getting that work, and they're gonna get that work. Now, let's get back to us and training people and explaining people certain things. Sinetta can get people that don't know no better. He don't know no better. He probably don't got Logos Bible software. He asked how can God be a jealous God? And I hear a lot of people talking about this. We got to start dealing with context. We got to look at the word. We got to do word searches. Y'all get logos. Y'all can do all of this stuff. Y'all making me got to go back and buy books. Y'all making me got to go back. Y'all making me got to go back and digging it up old stuff. I got to dig up old stuff now because I'm talking on a level and I'm thinking one thing, and in all actuality, a lot of people don't know. My baby used to always tell me that. She said, you start off a conversation because you think people on a certain level don't do that. Just break it down. So we're gonna try to break certain things down. These books were written by people on the other side of the planet 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. And what the translators did, they used certain words. I'm going to talk about Bible and Bible versions, and they got, of course, what's that other Bible? The other guy said, you got to buy the right name Bible. Some Bible that got God's right name in it. A lot of this stuff with Bible translation, some of it is good, but some of it is about money, copyright. Selling Bibles is about money. We might as well get that. Everybody got a Bible. John MacArthur got a Bible. Jimmy Swaggart got a Bible. Everybody got a Bible. And you put your own footnotes in the Bible. You in the bottom you can have a study Bible, and you can put your footnotes in the bottom, and you getting money, plain and simple. So y'all gonna come here, y'all gonna get offended, but we're gonna talk about different things. And there's different words you have to understand in its context when God is talking about he's a jealous God. Let me see on Exodus 20 and 5. When Rich start talking about that, Exodus 34 and 14, when he say he's a jealous God, what do he mean by that? What is that word that's being used there? Other people will tell you later on that a better translation will be he's a vengeful God. And he's talking about how he's going to visit the generations to the third and the fourth generations. In its context, he's talking about people that are worshiping other gods because they were just coming out of Kemet. They were just coming out of Kemet. I think I wrote I think I wrote that other stuff down. I'm gonna give y'all homework because y'all got me going back, scratching my head, bringing up old stuff. But old stuff, it's not really old, but it's important. So you have to understand words. The beginning of being a serious student of the Bible is doing word searches, understanding the language. Now, when King James was written, they had what, eight, nine, 10, not 8, 9, 10 manuscripts. So many other manuscripts were found after that. I'm gonna get into did the white man write the Bible? We gonna sign that in. Listen, don't play with me. Don't play with me. We gonna get this information out here for these people. I told y'all Berean was acting crazy with Jabari up in there for a reason to line them folk up so they can come out to that debate. But now the debate is over. We're going to get this working right now. We're going to give y'all that work to go give them. They can't play with us. They can't play with us with that nonsense. They have nonsense. But I want to explain our stuff. First of all, you don't have to explain everything in the Bible. I want everybody in here to know. Type a 1 in here. Let me look in here. I want everybody in here to know there is some stuff in the Bible that sounds crazy. From that culture back then, 3,000 years ago on the other side of the planet. You don't have to explain everything in the Bible to these folk. Anybody, your co-worker, Sinetta in them, anybody online, you ain't got to explain everything. Why? And if a woman is fighting a man, and if a man is fighting another man, and a woman comes behind and grab him by his jewels, grab him by his private parts, I ain't got to explain all that. I ain't think about all that stuff. You don't have to explain everything. So we got to know that. You don't have to explain everything. But these people don't understand simple things with word searches. So when the King James translators came out, they did the best that they can do with the manuscripts that they had. Multiple manuscripts were found after 1611. when the King James came out. So they had and plus when you find other manuscripts and you find other libraries of writing, legal papers and documents, we can look through love letters and we can see the word eros and agape, and we've seen how the Greeks, we've seen how the people used the common Greek. That's what the New Testament was written in, the common Greek. So we see how they were using it. So we understand more. So later on, a team would say, being that more manuscripts have come out, being that we've had more writings, more discoveries, and we understand these words better, we can come out with another version of the Bible because King James been riding for 400 years. So it's okay to come out with another Bible, and we have clarity of words, we have more manuscripts, and it's in more modern English. It's okay. So some Bibles are good. They always told us, listen, always make sure when you get a Bible that's written by a team of people, not no one person. And Charles Tabb Russell, not no one person, because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and translators could be biased. So when King James translators got together, a lot of these modern Bible scholars, when they get together to translate something, they'll all look at it because different sentence structures, different words can be brought together different ways. So they'll give it to these 6 people, they'll look at it and they'll pass it to other team members. Could we have worded this thing better? So I want to explain all of that stuff first. So when the King James translators use the word jealous, it's used different way. Thank you, John. We appreciate you. It's used a different way than let's say Galatians. Galatians, Paul says, "I'm jealous for you. I'm jealous for y'all with a godly jealousy. I want to make sure. Listen, when you're on the playground, you don't want nobody knocking over your kids. If they're giving out food, you want your kids to eat. You want your kids to If y'all in Chunky Cheese, you want your kids not to be disrespected. You want them to have fun. You're jealous over them." So the way the word is used, Canaan, I forget the word. Somebody, Canaan, put that word down in there. That word jealous in the Hebrew. Y'all got Strongs, y'all got logos and all that old fancy stuff. Pull it up. When I get that fancy thing, I'll be able to pull it up. But I'm in the spot right now, and I want to talk about this stuff. So when you look at that word, there's different words. Same thing we say with the Greek in the New Testament. I love you, eros. That's where we get the word erotic love. You got an erotic love. You got Philadelphia. That's the brotherly love. You had different types. You had different types of love. The agape. There's a commercial that talk about the Greeks had 4 different words for love. So how did the translators use that? Did they use it the best way? So if I'm reading anything, if you don't know how to do a word search, you'll look at the ESV, you'll look at the King James, you'll look at the NSB, CSB, you'll look at different versions to try to get some clarity on the text. Remember, I told you when other people, I'm black unto the ground, when they use certain scriptures, if your doctrine only work in the King James Bible, there's a good chance your doctrine ain't right. I don't care what nobody say. People got beef with that, but that's just the truth. Because these are things that's translated. And sometimes things can get confused. Some people say things can get lost in the translation. So a serious student of the Bible, a serious pastor, he's going to get into the word. He's going to get into some serious background of the text to present it to the people to make sure he's faithful to the text. We talking about being faithful. You just can't pick up the thing and just read what you want into the text. And a lot of church people do it. We see Sinette and them doing it because they don't understand, and a lot of people don't know, so they just pick it up and read it and do whatever. Rick wouldn't say handling the word of God deceitfully if everybody was handling it properly. Some people do it knowingly. Some people do it unknowingly. This is just how it is. Good to see you, Rush. Thank you, Rush. I said, thank you. I need some people that's going, all right, now I can go in. Now I can go in. So, and y'all look at that word, and how the word is used. So it's not the same thing that's used later on in Galatians. It's used different ways. Thank you, John. He said, I'm praying for Timothy's a faithful servant coming to your way, Berean, for the ministry. All right, man, I missed it. Y'all know this other phone don't do what you call it. Let me try to get that. I seen half of what you're saying. John, you could hit me on the thing. That other number didn't change. So we got to talk about these things because people are having problems with word searches and they don't understand simple stuff. So we asked the girl, how can God be a jealous God? Because he's mixing up the modern term jealousy with what the King James translators used as jealous. Oh, y'all playing with me. That's not what the book say. Your book say, oh, God is a jealous God. Why would God be jealous? In this context, he's talking about other gods. Matter of fact, let me park right here. What's that word I'm looking for? What's that word I'm looking for? Matter of fact, I might have had that thing written down somewhere in one of these, what you call it. What's the word I'm looking for? The Bible teaches that there's multiple gods, but we believe in the God of Israel, one God. There's a word that I'm looking for. Put that word down in there. Let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find this thing right here. Monolatry is one. Monolatry is one. Monolatry. If I spelt it right. That came from, oh, what's the guy? Julius and them that wrote, that Julius came up with the four source theory. Lord, I'm all over the place. I should be giving y'all slides. That JEPD, he said Moses didn't write what we would call the Pentateuch or the first five books of the Bible. Moses didn't do it. It was multiple people. That you had the priestly people, Yahwistic people. You had different groups of priests and scribes that came together to write it. But we said traditionally that Moses wrote it. So he came up with that word. But there's another word. There's two words. There's another word. Um, let me see if I got a henotheism, multiple gods. You know there's multiple gods, but you believe it's one God. You acknowledge one God out of multiple gods. The Bible teaches there's multiple gods. So don't get confused. Let's not get confused. Let's not get this whole thing twisted right now. Thank you. We will appreciate you, Sister Brooks. We appreciate you, Giselle. Thank you, Brown. Thank you, Brown. Put the word thank you, Mel. Put the words in there. Y'all playing with me. I'm trying to scribble some stuff down here, and I'm trying to remember other stuff. I'm freestyling now. So that's important. One, you got to understand that the Bible teaches that there's multiple gods. God sits among the council of the gods. Where Rob Moses at? He said, and God said, I'm God, and besides me, there is no other. But then the book turned around and say, when man fell, when Adam and Eve fell, he went back and he said, the man has become like one of us. Go look at Mike Murdoch with that. Not Mike Murdoch. Oh God, what's the guy name? What's the other brother name? What's the other brother name with the two powers in heaven and all of that stuff? Mike Heiser. Mike Heiser. Go look at Mike Heiser with that. So Rick clearly talk about the gods of Egypt, the gods of the Canaanites. Thank you, Heiser Green. I appreciate Brother Green. So the Bible clearly teaches that, and it's surprising to me. I think I'm a phone chopping up with my man, with Jason or somebody, and it's surprising that so many believers say it's God, and besides him there is no other. But God knew there were other gods. Deuteronomy 32, he divided up the nation. He kept Israel for his portion. He divided up the nation among other Elohims, other gods, principalities, powers, rulers, powerful beings that's ruling and controlling nations and ruling and controlling religion. Hinduism is not the religion of God. Voodoo is not the religion of God. That's how come I asked y'all when voodoo is at work. When things happen, when a voodoo practitioner do something and somebody is healed, is it the God of the Bible? Is it the God of Israel? Can good things happen under those principalities, under those Elohim, under those other gods that rule other religions? We got to. These are a few things that we got to talk about. These are things that we have to bring out. So know that the Bible teaches multiple gods. So when God say I am God and He say He's jealous, He's saying, listen, don't go bowing down to them other gods. He know who they are. He created them. He know who they are. Don't go dealing with them. I'm jealous. He's jealous in that sense, and that you giving him something. You're trying to give them something that He and He alone deserves. That's that type of jealousy. Who married in here? Who married in here? Mello, listen. Your wife walk in a room and your wife walk in a restaurant and the waitress all over you and you flirting with her. She gonna have a jealousy that she does. She needs to have. Why is that? Because you need to only be flirting with your wife. So that's a proper type of jealousy because she only deserves that. That's it. So we got to understand how these words are being used in the text. And they say, oh, you went through explaining all of that. A lot of people don't know. If my man hit me, yo, I thought you said you were gonna hit me. We was gonna go on live. What's going on with the zoo? With the zoo, man, chill. I'm coming down the block. I'm on the FDR. I'm on the highway. It's a parking lot out here. He got to figure out. He from the other side of the country. Like, what is Beran talking about? A parking lot? Chill. Yo, I'm telling you, it's a problem. He be like, some people got to figure out what I'm talking about. Imagine people on the other side of the planet 3,000 years ago. Everything, my text, everything has to be translated. People that live on the other side of the country, a lot of church people don't understand the way I talk. What's the vernacular? What's the word I'm looking for? My English, my slang, however I talk. A lot of people don't understand it. And they have to, when I'm texting, when I'm writing, when I'm talking, they have to be thinking and interpreting what does Berean mean when he's saying what he's saying. How much more when you're reading something from thousands of years ago on another side of the planet? It needs work. We all read the text. That's the easy part. The hard part is translation. What is it saying? Interpretation. What is it saying? What does it mean? And it's hard to do that just knowing English. You got to do word studies. That's how come when you go to seminary, first thing they want to do, they want to get you into Hebrew and Greek. Why they want to get you into Hebrew Greek? Some people dealing with that. Hebrew and Greek, primarily majority of Old Testament manuscripts that they have, the language was the Hebrew language. So some old manuscripts are in Hebrew. Later on, as time went on, Alexander the Great took over the scene. There was already Hebrew people in the Levant who were not Europeans that already had a Hebrew text. But when Alexander took over, Alexander said to unite all the others, say what y'all want. Alexander was great. Conscious community don't want to call him great, but he said he wanted to unite everything that he conquered, and a good way to unite and make everybody speak a lingua franca, and everybody gonna speak Greek. So you got people from the Middle East speaking Greek, you got white folks speaking Greek, you got people in interior Africa, they all speaking Greek. That don't mean they white, they speaking Greek. We got plenty of people speaking English today, Asian people speaking English today, black people speaking English. 1,000 years from now, because English is a European language, you can't say Dr. Bennett Farrakhan was Europeans. Because they spoke the language. So we got a lot of people in the conscious community that's talking and they talking crazy. They just don't know what they talking about. So you can't jump and turn on the camera and start thinking you talking and you building and you got the whole story confused. I said, well, get into the book. Give me some scholars. Let's get into the Septuagint. Let's get into when the Greek translation came on the scene. Because they're thinking, and that takes me to the next point. Sinetta said the Europeans gave us the Bible. Now, the theory behind that is these folk are confused because we got what's known as the Septuagint or the Greek translation of the Bible because of Alexander the Great in 250. 250 years before Christ came on the scene, they had to translate the Hebrew text into Greek because so many Israelites were speaking Greek. Slaves came over here and the slaves learned English. They were still of African descent. And they learned English. When they got here, they learned English. Did that change who they are? Does that change the color of their skin, their culture, what they do? Does that change anything? So this is where the conscious community is confused because they hear Greek, and one of the oldest translations of the Bible is in Greek, so automatically they connect in Greek with white people, and they're saying white people gave us the Bible. They are confused to the fifth power. I understand why they're confused, but some people say, I want to get to the meat of it. No, you gotta understand the background. And this is where I say when we start teaching a spirituality, and some people mad at Israel, but when we start teaching a spirituality, especially people that's in this land right here that come from another land, you gotta lock history in with the spirituality at times. When we teach in this text, we gotta lock the history of Alexander and where this stuff come from and how he conquered Kemet in the Middle East and what we know as Palestine and how he died and his 4 generals split it up. But he said to unify the people, everybody gonna speak Greek to unify all the land. Then the Romans came later on. So we have to have all of this stuff. That's what I'm telling y'all, listen, you don't need to be a scholar, but get your timelines right. One thing that really get them folk, their timelines are so confused. Plus, they hate white folks, so they just want to put the white man as the enemy here, the white man. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? The white folk wasn't even on the set yet. When the book was written, what are y'all talking about? But this is the problem, and they're pushing that. And they're pushing that, and they're confused with it. Not saying the Bible's a black book and all of this other stuff. But you got to understand, Europeans did not write the Bible. Did they translate the Bible when the gospel was jumping in Europe later on? When a European man invented, what's his name, Gutenberg? What that guy name is? Put his name down in there too. Oh, y'all smart. Put that name down in. That guy named invented that printing press. Then they started printing up them Bibles. That's the 1555 or 1450. Put all that stuff down in there. Y'all smart. Put it in there for everybody else. Gutenberg, thank you. See, I told you some sharp people in here. So this is where the problems come in because they're confused with so many things. So then he start hitting that sister Carla, whoever her name is Carla. She's a Hebrew sister, and remind me to get on that before we get to end. Every soldier count. And you know that's going to be another thing. I like the fact that I see Hebrew Sister Steep in the book. It's like Sister Steep in the book talking that talk. I love when I see Sister Steep in the book talking that talk, knowing that history of thinking person. that can be able to exegete, deal with that text, understand the languages and stuff. So the first thing you do when you get in seminary is you learn the Hebrew, because the Old Testament was primarily written in Hebrew. A little bit of Daniel, had some Aramaic, a little bit of Daniel in there. But the majority of it was originally written in Hebrew. And then when Greek became the lingua franca and the people went away into captivity and all of that stuff, a lot of people lost their language. Like when y'all came over here, a lot of y'all lost your language and started speaking another language, but you still follow the book. So the rabbi said, listen, we got to give them the book. We got to translate the book. And then they wanted to throw one into the Library of Alexandria. Who built the Library of Alexandria? Who allowed scholars to come and trade scrolls and give scrolls from Arabia, from all over the place, and bring them there? Who did that? Put it down in there. Who built the Library of Alexandria? I got stolen legacy and all of that stuff. Who built the Library of Alexandria and opened it up to the world to come and bring scrolls and share and read and study to spread knowledge? Come on, Brown. Come on, Brown. Come on, Brown. And he wasn't an African. And he wasn't an African. So we gotta give credit where credit is due. Now, I'm gonna get into that whole thing later on with the books and the knowledge being stolen. The white man came out the Caucasus Mountains and he stole all our books and all this knowledge. All this knowledge wasn't ours. White folk invented a whole bunch of stuff. But y'all don't like to hear that. Y'all don't want truth. Y'all want me to amp y'all up. Them white devils, y'all want me to amp y'all up with that, but we need truth. We need all the truth. We need all the truth. And folk don't like that. We need the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help us God. Lies, like how they did back in the days, them lies that Elijah and WD and Noble Drew, them lies that they gave us to elevate the people. We don't need lies. We need the whole truth. We need the whole truth about everything, and it's okay. Multiple cultures, multiple people from all over the world have attributed something. Because if you listen to them Kemetic cats, they're going to give you Kemet, black man, white man. They was doing stuff in China. Asia's been getting down. Before the printing press, Asians been writing. The Ming Dynasty and all that, they've been getting before Gutenberg and all that. They were already doing printing. It wasn't fast that they were putting out books, but they already had a system of printing. That ain't got nothing to do with black people, white people. Because if you listen to them cats, if you listen to the cats in the conscious community, the whole world is built around black people and white people. Forget the Indians, forget the Asians, forget everybody else on the whole planet. That's nothing but black people, white people. And that's nonsense. That's make-believe. That's because we in a struggle and they giving y'all lies and they giving y'all stuff because Europeans lying too. They giving y'all some other lies and it's back and forth. There's lies and it's back and forth. If we're going to dig to the truth, we got to put the racism down. I've been telling y'all for years, scholarship, racism has no place in scholarship. We're going to get into the anthropologists and how they lied and they wanted to say we were monkeys and we left in humans for financial gain to make the other Christians feel good that you got black people enslaved. And, they started using different scriptures and the wicked European rabbis and their writings and all of that. I'm getting off the subject, though. So you got to understand that. So later on, by the time the Greeks took over and Christ came on the scene, the Greeks the Romans, the official language of Rome, when they took over from the Greeks, after Mark Antony, Cleopatra, and all that, when they came on the scene and they got strong and the Romans are ruling, the Romans are thinking, why reinvent the wheel? We taking over and ruling what Alexander the Great and his generals had, plus more territory. We're not going to shut down the lingua franca. Millions of people of all ethnic groups are already speaking Greek, the lingua franca. So the official language of Rome was the Latin language, but they weren't using it. They were still letting people speak Greek. They let the Israelites have their freedom. Y'all speak that Aramaic. Y'all speak what y'all speak and y'all do y'all thing in the temple. Just don't play yourself. We the rulers. And they gave them a freedom. And they gave them a freedom to do what they wanted to do. So if you don't understand these things coming down and how this history and these timelines and stuff like that, you're going to be confused. So when we're dealing with the main thing we deal with in the New Testament is the Greek language, and the main thing that we're dealing with in the Old Testament is the Hebrew language. That's why we have lexicons. That's how people are doing word studies. That's how come a lot of people are going back to learn the original language. It's always better when you know the original language, but if you don't know the original language, you can do word searches. There's so many tools out here. That's how the average person would listen to something. They'd be like, well, he don't know that. Well, this is the dumbest thing. How can he answer? He don't know the word jealous? Automatically go to Logos. Bang. Everybody got it on the phone. But Sarnetta don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. So we got to get out here and we got to teach it. Now it'll confuse somebody that don't know better, that don't understand word studies and why you have to do certain things because we're interpreting. Everybody interpret. Like I said, my man hit me on the text. I'm talking that Brooklyn talk. I'm talking that other talk. He trying to figure out what I'm saying. So imagine somebody from years later. So this is why I have to lay out all of this foundation. I don't think people need this, but we have to lay out all of this foundation. And Rich says in the fullness of time. More people were speaking the Greek language when Christ came on the scene than any other language on the planet. God in His infinite wisdom, of course, it's time for the gospel to spread. So they're gonna write they're gonna write the gospel. They're gonna write it in the Greek language. That's the language the majority of the planet is speaking. At least that side of the world. It only makes sense. This stuff ain't rocket. This stuff ain't racism. It only makes sense. This is just regular. If we just leave the white people alone for a minute, stop hating white folk. If we just put it all down for a minute and just figure this thing out, that's all it is. Everything ain't black and white. Everything ain't black, and everything have not always been like that. So when we study in the text, that's another problem. How can I study the text? 90% of people that I read as believers, when they read in the text, they reading black people, white people into it. And back then it wasn't even black people, white people. That was until later on when the people started doing that. Later on, then people they gave us, during the slave trade, they started disrespecting people of a darker hue, and the anthropologists and the scientists and the Bible scholars and the preachers all got together. Bible commentators, they all got together and they propagated the curse of Ham, because cotton was the thing. Cotton was the thing, and tobacco was the thing. We got to get money. The North ain't they think about us. The South was killing. They was getting too much bread. They're like, no, no, we got to get this thing right. All in Europe, everybody was getting money off of the cotton. Everybody was getting money off of the tobacco. So they was like, this thing ain't going to stop now. And they conquering lands, and they going to get gold, and slaves are money too. No, this thing is going, we going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. So all of the so-called scholars and anthropologists and all of them got together. And they started doing what they're doing, and we're feeling the effects of it, even though slavery isn't over in the majority of the world. I didn't say all of the world. The majority of the world, slavery is over. Even though it's over, we're feeling the effects of it. Now, as believers in this country, we're fighting against the effects of it. Now we got the whitewashing. Now we got the European images, because now everybody think God, the angels, everybody, Abraham, everybody white, because that came from a time. But now we're seeing the effects of it. Even if people say, listen, my church ain't had that in 30 years. We ain't had a European Jesus. We ain't had a European Jesus in 30 years. But what difference does it make when the dominant images that we see on TV, that we see in the older Bibles, that we're seeing in all these Sunday schools, then we're going to throw these Sunday school books away. Because now we know that images are important. What does that do when they see certain things? First of all, Jesus is the image of the invisible God. If Muhammad is just a prophet, and they'll tear up the whole country, they'll kill folk if you draw a picture of Muhammad. How much more? Why should we even have it? But they knew what they were doing, and they needed it at that time. And there's people that's living off of the benefits of it right now. Psychologically, it's messing with the people's mind. I'll shout out to Michael Haynes. One brother came to declare, he said he a grown man and he know what's what. And he said, when I close my eyes, I still see a white Jesus. Took him a lot to even say that, but he admitted it. Images, iconography is important. And they did a lot of that. That's how come you got images and symbols in the craft and Freemasonry. In religion, they got images, they got symbols. You got it in Freemasonry. All esoteric orders got images, because images and signs and symbols go down in your deep in your subconscious. So the Vatican and all of them, they gave y'all plenty of images. They said, oh, people couldn't pray, so they had to tell you to do down, they're going to do all of this and all that other nonsense and all that. People are giving you images. Look at the buildings. They're giving you symbols. They're showing you things, because it's going deep in you. That's why we baptize. We ain't saying folk getting, so you getting saved when you baptize. We baptize because that's a deep, deep thing. You going down. What Paul told y'all going down. You getting buried and you're resurrecting with Christ. That does something deep inside of you. That's why we do what we do. So we got to understand these things, and we got to understand timelines. What else? I just scribbled some stuff down here on, a whole bunch of stuff coming up. Y'all give me some thumbs up. Give me some thumbs up. We sitting here talking all that. Matter of fact, I could talk a little more. I forgot I'm locked in right now, so I could talk that. I could talk a little more of that talk. So you can do yourself a favor. If you serious about the writ, if you're serious about God's word, and you wanna study and you wanna learn something, if you're really serious about it, what you have to do is try to put the rate. And it's almost impossible. But it's anachronistic when we're reading racism back into the text. When we're reading racism back into Kemet. I mean, in Egypt and Moses and the children there, we reading racism into that, and it wasn't that. It wasn't that. But how can we do it? You have to train yourself. You have to train yourself because automatically you open up the text, you read in black, white. And another thing, like I've often told people, you open up, if you're looking for white people are wicked, whatever you're looking for in the Bible, you can find it. Pimping ain't easy, pimping is a good thing. Whatever you're looking for in the Bible. Women are wicked, whatever you're looking for in the Bible, you open it up, whatever you're looking for, you're going to find. It may not be right in its context, but whatever you're looking for, you're going to find. And this is what we do. This is the power of the brain. That's how we got to deal with the psyche. This is the power of the brain. You're going to see it. What do you say right here? And therefore, no condemnation. All right, dear friend, I ain't got to go to jail. Yeah, I shot him. There's no condemnation. I just read that. Whatever you're looking for, you're going to find. I know y'all might be like this. It takes a certain type of people to come, to come by here and sit down and listen to some of this stuff because I don't know how we're going to go off, but we're going to go in. We're going to go in. If we're talking to somebody about the faith, Sinette and them can't stay banging on us, not when they got that spookism. That's how come you got to get that guy polite as props. Polite, you can't box him in with no religion. He over here, he over there. You can't box him in. Because he know everybody's faith system. The Dalai Lama got questions about his faith system. Everybody have questions. Everybody have questions because we're attempting to know deity. We're attempting to know certain things. Thank God that God has revealed himself through the word. How God revealed himself in the word in the King James Bible got contradictions in it. I should have said that. Oh, Lord. I hate going live. I hate going live. But there's some things in the King James Bible that, that are problematic. That are problematic. Some people say they can all be worked out. I've been reading it too long. There's some things that's a little problematic. But remember, this is just a translation. We'll talk about inspiration and how we understand the book to be inspired because we do double talk in the church. We say the Bible is the holy, pure, inspired word of God. And I believe that too. But then when you hem them up, Ramos, when you hem them up good, you hem up the preachers good in the corner, you hem up the apologists good in the corner, the apologists going to say the original autographs. Now the problem is, we don't have no original autographs of the Bible. Some people are like, oh, well, that's dope. Well, how we know what? I'm done. I ain't even dealing with the book then. We don't have no original autographs of the Bible. But whilst I'm telling y'all that we don't have no original autographs, an autograph is what Mark wrote with his own hand. That's an autograph, or whatever Peter's secretary according to our tradition. We got an oral tradition. According to our tradition, Peter was hanging out, Mark was hanging out with Peter in the book of Acts and all of that. So Mark just did what he did, and that's how we got the Gospel of Mark, but we don't see Mark among the 12 apostles. That's how Mark got up in there after the day of Pentecost. Mark's mama was a boss in the church. Her name was Mary. Her brother name was Barnabas. Their house was kind of bigger than everybody else's house, and they had church. Remember, till Constantine, there wasn't no church buildings. They had church in people's crib. They had church in people's houses. And that guy Mark, his mom's was Mary, and his uncle Barnabas was getting down. He the one that brought Paul. Listen, I seen him put his life on the line for this gospel. So that guy Barnabas, they all family. And Peter hung out in Mary in them house. And Mark got to rocking with him. So Mark wrote from just being his secretary, being around a younger dude. So that's how we got the Gospel of Mark. So we got to understand how a lot of this stuff came down. And, I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to seem like I'm writing, but I'm giving y'all some stuff, and people need to know all of this stuff. Because there's confusion if you don't know the timelines and how stuff been coming down and how we got certain things. It's going to be, it's been confusion, and we got a lot of that stuff. So people need to understand just the basics, and we need to lay down the basics. It's good to go to church, and we go and we sing and we clap and we worship, and it's good to do that, but there's a knowledge side to our belief system. This ain't blind faith. These fools run around here talking crazy. I didn't even want to start talking about Imhotep and them with that nonsense. Who was dead? Pharaoh? Who was dead? King Tut? Who came back from the dead to tell him all of this? Oh, this is what you got to do when you meet this spirit underneath here. Who came back from the dead to tell him that's blind faith? So they say we got blind faith. They got blind faith. We just putting it out there. Come on, son, y'all answer some of them questions before y'all start bothering us. But like I said, polite is all over. You can't box him in. You could go back and say he was down with Malachi Z. York and this and that, and he'll come back and he'll flip Malachi Z. York talk. He'll come back and he'll flip it into something else. So you can't box him down. It's different. Say, listen, I believe in the fallibility of your scripture. I believe God inspired man to write this book. Now we locked ourselves into the book. So any problems with the book, any rape and any killing, because remember, 71% of this book is narrative. And them people just like us. David and them prayed. I prayed, but I got some. Listen, matter of fact, Mello, let me ask some of y'all in here. Rush, do you got some foul in you? Do you got some foul stuff? Because some of y'all, mom and them told us you get the Holy Ghost, you gonna do right. David and them believed on the Lord. The Spirit came on the prophets and them, but there was some people that did. There was some people that did some stuff back in the Bible days, and that's all of this is narrative. So when we see raping, when we see adultery, when we see lying, Jacob and them, when we see all of that stuff, when we see about being a supplanter, when we see all that, that's just human. That's just humans. That's God, that make me know the book is true. A Muslim brother came to me and he said, "Well, the Bible can't be true because it wouldn't be all that raping in there." I said, "So what that make that make that other book true? That green book? Boy, you better go leave me alone right now. Don't bother me about Muhammad when that book came down. That's another thing. I'm gonna leave that Quran alone. We talking about the Bible." He said because it's rape in the Bible, it's killing in the Bible, it's lying and cheating in the Bible, and people doing different things. How he sold his brother? They supposed to be the people of God. How they wanted to kill him, and the other brother sold him over to the Ishmaelites, and he ended up going and being and end up going in Egypt and being a slave in Egypt. And then he got lied on. He was in the prison. That ain't nothing but like no, well, no, boy, that's human nature. This is what folk do. We got jealousy among families. We got family members that hurt each other. And this is just human nature. So the Bible talks about human nature, the good, the bad, and the ugly about human beings. That's what we read right here. And how in the midst of that God was weaving and doing a thing. Even when we start talking about him, he was like, listen, and I'm talking about Joseph when his brother sold him into slavery. And because we got free will, we can do what we want, but God will work it out, even through our mistakes, even through our falling and getting back up. When his brothers end up running down on him and they found out he's a boss up in Kemet, they turned around and he was like, don't even worry about it. What y'all meant for evil, God meant for good. That's how we'll start saying all things work together for good to them that love God. So even if you get out here and you make a mistake, even you get out here and you think you're doing this well, even if you think you're doing this well and you make a mistake, like, oh, I want to do what's right, I'm not sure which way to go. That's how come I believe in the mystical. I'm going to get my man on here. We're going to talk about the dreams and the vision. Of course, everything ain't in the book. Should I move to Atlanta? Or should I move to Atlanta? Should I go back to Philly? God, I don't see that in here. Lead me by your spirit. He's speaking to us in dreams. He's leading us. He's giving us a green light. He's doing certain things. So I'm going to talk to y'all about that mystical aspect of God. God is spirit. We're spirit. And God communes with the people. When they trying to lock us into the book, like I was telling my man, if they destroyed every Bible, y'all telling me God ain't speaking. He only speak through the book. You a liar? He was talking to human beings before human beings knew how to write. What history y'all read? What are y'all doing out here? What are they teaching y'all in seminary out here? Now, the church people are scared because a lot of y'all will start reading the Bible and then y'all will come back and be like, listen, I had a dream last night. I know I'm supposed to sleep with my mother-in-law and my wife. Her little sister's looking so good, them little 13-year-old twins. I got to sleep with the mama and the kid. And then y'all start hearing voices and being crazy with it. So that's why the church people scared and say, no, God ain't dealing with no visions. He ain't dealing with no dreams. He ain't dealing with none of that. And it's for a reason, because some of y'all are coming up. Y'all say crazy stuff to the pastor. I had a dream, and I know God told me to marry Brother Brown. How God told you to marry Brother Brown, you and your fourth husband, and Brother Brown been married his wife for 40 years. God told you to go get that man some cat. Come on, girl, go sit down somewhere. But people come to the pastor's office with that nonsense that they had a dream, so pastors and them are scared. But don't throw everything away, Rush. Don't throw everything away and try to act like God ain't speaking, God ain't nobody, and we stay dreaming. That's how come the occult world, that's how come Swedenborg and the New Age movement and astral travel and lucid dreaming, they know it's real and y'all trying to dead us from the spirituality and just give us the book, the letter kill. If y'all trying to just give us the book and these people are moving on a whole nother realm, whole nother level, these folks running around here, they moving in word of knowledge. They prophesying accurately. I ain't dealing with y'all no more because y'all don't want to hear the truth. Y'all like lies. How church folk, when did church people start liking lies? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm lost. When church folks start liking lies? Because y'all like some lies. And then y'all defend a lie. Instead of breaking down and be like, nah, that ain't original. That wasn't, no, Christ and them didn't do that. We're going to sit here and we're going to lift that tree high. Yeah, I'm going to keep talking about that tree. We're going to lift that tree high, 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 high. It's not really paganism. It's not book. Boy, it ain't book. I'm sorry, it just ain't book. And there's a lot of stuff that we're doing. And what Christ and them called it? Y'all don't like them Israelite people. What Christ and them called it? Because I don't hear this word in church a lot. the traditions of man. We don't hear that word a lot. They don't like that because tradition is so locked in with Kojic, so locked in with AME. Tradition, denomination go hand. Listen, this is what we doing. This is what we doing. So we've been banging for we've been banging for Kojic. Like I said, since Paul Morton them got the Holy Ghost 20, 30, 20 some years ago, whether he got the Holy Ghost, we start blending with him. We weren't even blending. So we're not even prepared to get out here and deal with these other folk that ain't really that sharp, but that have questions. That grew up with a grandmama and them talking Bible to them, giving them Bible stories. How was Jonah inside the belly of a... They got questions. How are we looking at the story, especially in light of what the scholars saying? It's a lot of stuff. So make sure when they asking you questions that you ask questions also. That's how it's good to be knowledgeable. Knowledge isn't everything, but it's good to be knowledgeable. What you say you believe in, brother? At least where to meet a person. If he's Muslim, you know he gonna come to you about that Trinity. He gonna have a problem. But you meet him, he believe in God, he believe in the day of Yom Kippur, he believe in the day of judgment. He believe in God and the day of judgment and doing your fellow neighbor right. As a Muslim, he believe that. I can meet him right there. Now, whose book is more accurate than the other person's book? We dialogue. Let's meet each other there and let's start talking. I'm finna get on to you about that green book. But I'm a chill. You know, a lot of them people in the other, they just want to come banging. You don't come banging, you build a rapport with somebody. If you really care, you build a rapport, you build dialogue with them. We could talk about that stuff later on. But a lot of us meet people and we say we doing the work of the Lord. We just want to disrespect and win an argument. I'm going to give you this information and you didn't even know that. And they start hitting you about Kerry and you don't even know where this thing come from. No, it's a little deeper than that. The church had a heavy influence on what we would call the Israelite movement today. The church of the living God. Play with me. They writing books. Let them bring that out right there. Let them bring that out. We'll talk about that another time because them people beefing. I'm talking about too much. They beefing. So these are things that we got to look at. These things we got to put this work in. I'm gonna go in here. Like I said, I'm gonna bring my man on. I'm getting on with my sister. We can be talking about them dreams. I'm bringing the apostle on. He's killing it right now. I'm bringing Pastor Jenkins on. He's killing it right now. He's talking about now. Of course, people are going to be upset when I bring on Pastor Rose and I bring the apostle on. They're moving in a different thing. These are men of the Lord, but they're moving in a different thing because a lot of people come to me, Berean, you know, it's a lot. And I do talk hard. Like, yo, you banging on the church. You talking about banging on the church. You talking about the tree and this and that. People don't think you love the church. You telling people that they could be saved if they don't even go to church. So I've been doing and saying a lot of things that's kind of pushed me in the corner, you know, because I meet a lot of people and they don't go to church for different reasons. I travel and hear so many stories, but my sister, Bishop, my people, they all say, if you ain't showing up in church, you ain't saved. You ain't saved. The other pastors say, well, I won't say they're not saved, but they in rebellion. Okay, whatever it is, it is. Whatever it is, it is. But we gotta talk about certain things. So when the apostle come on, and this is why God got people with a prophetic voice. We're gonna talk about dreams and visions and people moving in the prophetic. We need that. We need people moving in the prophetic, even with I can't even say what I don't even want to even use that term. Apology, just a spiritual people moving in this season, not being locked into the book, but just flowing in the spirit and what God is saying prophetically to a people. God is speaking a word in this season. There's a lot of people that's locked in the denomination. Man, the apostle he was bringing some stuff out. I'm gonna let him bring bring that thing out. He got a 5-part series on sorcery in the church. Sorcery in the church. You using the scripture right, but to manipulate the people. Lift your hands and see how much control you got. And then they can get to bringing that organ up in there. So now emotionally I got you. They flooded us with emotions in the church, and they use things to manipulate and to control the offering. Hey, Berean, go start snitching on the offering and the music. Music will get y'all jumping. Music will make them lift their dress up. Music, Lord have mercy. Music does something to the human soul. So in church, we've mastered the way we use music. That's how come we ask about the drummer and the organist. Can they go to the side and can they make music in the club? Can they make music? Can they get on that keyboard in the studio for a rapper or for a love song? And then come and get on the organ in the house of the Lord. Organists know hate them keys. I'm going to turn it up. I ain't bringing it. Sometimes they ain't even bringing no spirit in. They just stir emotion. And a lot of you color folks, y'all sway with the music. Y'all, that music get down in your soul. That don't mean it's God. I'm gonna tell y'all something else. Goosebumps don't mean it's God. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that to you folks, because y'all feel goosebumps. Y'all think automatically it's a spirit. Y'all know demons can manifest. They can do things to your physical. To your demons can make you get goosebumps. Demons can make you get a feeling. So don't. So you got to be careful. Vibrations. Thank you, Jesse. We got to be careful when we dealing with some stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot going on, but I'm gonna bring them people on, and we're gonna go in this direction. And then, like I said, in this direction where we're teaching the word, everybody that's a believer. Said, I'm not boxing y'all and everybody that's a believer, because whilst we busy fighting this madness, I'm busy fighting and banging over here, but we all believe in all the basic stuff. But not this girl, until, listen, Breen, don't bring her back on that show till she used that word Trinity. And then I'm trying to amp. I'm like, yo, just don't say that other word. Just won't you just chill? You cool. It's people. It's real out here. It's real out here when people banishing you from using the word Israel. When people banishing you because you don't want to use the word Trinity. Are you going to hell if you don't use the word Trinity? Folk in Acts, the second chapter, they may not have used that. Matter of fact, when John went Revelation, let me shut my mouth. Cause if we, oh Lord, it's a good chance none of the apostles ever used that word Trinity. No, I'm not. I know, I understand who John knew who he was. Paul knew who he was. But the thing is, they didn't use the term. If we got other people that know who he is, know who the Ruach, know who the Spirit is, and they don't use the term, they're just like John and them. Why they got to go to hell? If John and them ain't go to hell. But Berean ain't making those. I ain't been to seminary. I don't know what the devil. I'm just rambling. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then people feel like, turn around, you got a platform there, and there you run around here influencing people and this other stuff, this devil worship. It's borderline with heresy. It's heresy. It's heresy because we're talking. It's heresy because listen, we don't want nobody denying the nature of Christ, the eternality of Christ. But if we all riding with the basics, we can in the midst of this, we can dialogue about other things. That's how come everybody need to have a statement of faith individually, not just churches. I tell y'all, go to Stephen Darby, go to Pastor Omar. I'm telling y'all, go to their church website, what we believe, and go specifically to what they believe about Christ and salvation, Ephesians 2:8-9, and the nature of Christ. They believe the same thing the AME and all the Kojic believe. And y'all running around here. I said I wasn't going to talk about that. I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I got cake. I got cookies. I got alcohol. I don't got no mask though. Edmonds, I got the Edmonds. I got coffee. I'm chilling in here. I'm chilling in here. I ain't dealing with y'all because I'm gonna start when I start rambling. They be like, he was doing good. He was doing good. He's bringing out some other stuff. So I'm gonna bring some people on. This is not a hate the church channel, but I'm gonna bring some people on. They're gonna challenge the church and they're gonna show y'all things. There's nothing wrong with certain things being exposed. The church ain't the church. I believe that the church is God's. God set the church up. God set the church up, but somewhere along the way, what that other brother said, you ain't gonna talk about my wife. My wife, the church is the bride of Christ. Listen, you find out your wife got her ex in that phone, you ain't gonna be giving all that money, go get her hair and nails done, buying her lingerie and all that stuff, and you seeing her sending somebody else pictures. That's what the church been doing. The church been hoeing. The church been hoeing with other gods, with other symbols and things that come from other religions. Well, put that term in there again. What's that term? What is that term that there's multiple gods, but I ride with the God of Israel? Put them two words down and they add them somewhere. I have them somewhere. Now y'all got to go back digging into it. I got to go back to school messing with y'all. I got to go back to school messing with y'all. Go put that term in there. So if God said go down to the strip spot and get that girl. Hosea went and got him. He went and got him somebody from Magic City. Y'all cats and that, y'all know Magic City. He went and got him one of them sisters jumping on that pole. Then got them shots looking thick and curvy. And then the men knew her. Let's just put it that way. And they wanted to know, why would a prophet go and do something like that? Because that's what Israel was doing. That's what Israel was doing. You can say what you want to church. The church been hoeing a little bit. Church, yep, God's bride, God's wife, God's bride been hoeing a little bit. How we been hoeing? We've been hoeing because we playing around, we joking with Halloween. We joking with some other. How well I don't worship this and I don't worship that. We've been joking. How many church people back in the days? Everybody dating. Well, what's your sign? I'm a Capricorn. And I'm a Gemini. Me and you know how it is. We start giggling. We've been doing other stuff. We've been bringing things in. The new thought movement. We've been bringing things in. I can think it. I can manifest it because I'm a God. TBN then flooded us with the New Age movement. God's church, the holy, pure church. So now that the church is hoeing, now that the church done lift up a skirt, now that the church is running around here doing whatever, I know he still love the church, but to somebody tell the church, pull your skirt down, pull your panties back. Lord have mercy. Get out that man bed, get out that bed and go back to your husband, go back to Christ. Let's go back and do it Christ's way. Maybe we got to go back into. That's how I said we got to go back to the primitive church. We got to go back and let's get primitive with it. I ain't saying throw away all our phones and but let's get primitive with some of this stuff. Let's get primitive with some of this stuff. We could be using our freedom. I don't want y'all to think I'm legalistic, but we could be using our freedom to run amok. So now you can't tell the difference between the girl in Magic City and the way she dressed and how bursts out in the First Lady. I shouldn't have said that because it's not render your heart, not your garments. It's not have nothing to do with, wait a minute now, wait a minute now, wait a minute. Even Islamic women, they pagans. Even Islamic women know to cover the onion, cover something up. Lord, I'm going. Because they can say, oh, he going somewhere. He ain't got nothing that ain't got nothing to do with the spirit. But man, listen, I'm going to leave y'all alone. I've been rambling in these people's house. They probably out there like, what in the world? Usually when I go to Airbnb, I'm in there by myself. But I think the last 2 nights I've been in a family's house. I'm in a family's house. Y'all know how they do with the Airbnbs and all that. I might do a whole thing on that. I done been in so many of them now. But we're going to pick this up. We're going to pick this up and we're going to put this work in. Like I said, I'm bringing apostle on. I'm bringing pastor on. We talking about dreams, vision. We talking about certain things that we need to do in the church. And trust me, when these things get done and when you hear from these brothers and you hear from the apostle. Y'all know what the apostle job is, what the bishop, what the apostle job is. They come and set the house in order. They set certain things they set. So I'm gonna bring the apostle on. I'm gonna show y'all some stuff, and I'm guaranteeing y'all if y'all stick with us, if y'all just listen to this, nobody forming no movement. If y'all stick with this, y'all will see your spirits develop in your relationship with Christ. You're already your discernment is up, so you peak in that game. But they're the ones, oh, the church don't have no game. Don't say the words you use. We don't like those words. There's game in the church. Everything that come across the podium, everything that come behind that sacred desk, every word that come from behind that sacred desk ain't come from God on high. I shouldn't have said that. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know to say the right things. I say what come from my heart. It's the truth, but the truth bothers people. Everything come from behind that sacred desk. When they start getting up there, and sometimes the pastor just want to beat on people. Sometimes the pastor just want to beat people up. That's like I said, I'm not going to be focusing on different things because I can get here and I can get to blowing shots and blowing shots, but you don't use a platform to beat up the 3-4 preachers you got beef with here, the 3-4 apologists you might have beef with here when there's 12,000. You don't do that. You feed the people, you get out here. So everything that come behind the sacred desk and people that grow up, they say, well, Berean, certain stuff you shouldn't say because it's saved, it's baby Christians, haters are coming, you know the Kemetic people coming, Israel, different people coming, they can use that stuff. Listen, I understand it, but where we gonna talk about it? Y'all ain't been talking about it in the church. And we've been going home and whispering and saying little things, but y'all ain't been talking about it. So if our business is out here now, we put our business out. We put our business out. We stay in bishops getting divorced and getting remarried and making babies in the we staying doing some stuff. We staying doing plenty of stuff. So now the praise leaders is looking like Magic City. Is it all good? Is it the heart? Now the church is dark looking like the club and we killing it with the smoke. I don't know. I'm just here. But the apostle and pastor are going to come on, and these people specialize in certain areas, and we just want to help God's people. And you're going to grow and you're going to develop and you're going to go to another level with this stuff. Of course, it's going to offend somebody, but that's what writ do. That's what truth do. It's a sword. It cuts. It divides. Christ said it, so I'm going to stop trying to apologize and keep saying I shouldn't have said that. This is what writ do. This is what writ do, and we got to understand it. And there's a religious spirit, and God is breaking the people away from that religious spirit, and there's a remnant. Remember, we've been talking about Babylon. A lot of them stayed in Babylon. Even though Jerusalem was tore up, the remnant wanted to go back to Jerusalem and build back the walls. Nehemiah and them like, man, we can't come down. Ezra and them, we reading this book. We going to read this book from morning, noon, and night. We going to get to study in that book. We going to get to laying in that book because they wanted to examine it. When they found it, they wept. Grown men wept. Men! Not the women, men. They wept when they read that we got the laws of our king. We got it right now. We've been playing and dancing, and we got this. We got something right here, and we gonna really examine this thing. We gonna really see what the king is saying. And when we really get to examine this thing, he ain't saying a lot of what these people saying, what the popular preachers are saying. That's the problem. That's the problem. But I ain't gonna backpedal on that. It is what it is. All right, y'all know. All right, but and thanks to the Saints, plenty coffee, a place to rest my head, plenty coffee, alcohol. I don't got no mask. I got Cheez-Its. I'm heavy right now. I got a hero over here. I got salad in the people refrigerator. I'm heavy right now. Thanks to the Saints, we really appreciate y'all. If y'all know we $ Marine teacher. If y'all want to put $1 in there, I got coffee for tomorrow too. But who knows? It's a rainy day. Thank God we appreciate, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate everybody. Oh, shout out to Charles. Like I said, Charles, Jason, my man Mello, man, listen. I really, and I'm on my Uber game right now. I take a little bus here and there, but don't think Marine run around here in that S class. You know, we making it. We making it. You know, God, things are good. Things are stepping up. People thought that they could try to shut some stuff down and hate and do this, but God is faithful. And he said, no good thing. I just want to teach his people, and I just want to just bring some things out there, but at the same time, I'm going to offend some people. But we're going to get this work in. We're going to get this work in. All right, I love y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all got anything? Oh, thank you, Taylor. We appreciate y'all. I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said. Jason, hit me on that phone, man. 'Cause I think tomorrow night I'm gonna see what we're gonna do with Pastor. Share this video too. Terrell. All right, no, that's Roz. I'm talking. Charles. Poland Spring. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm laying off that coffee. I'm laying off that. And that other coffee, people, I seen in the comments, people was like, I'm telling you, I went to some fancy deli over there. And I bought a $5 coffee. They thought it was bad. It was some type of fancy coffee. I spent $20 in 4 cans of coffee yesterday. $20 on 4 cans of coffee just because I never saw it before and I was in fancy. The hood didn't turn into fancy delis with the gentrification and all of that other stuff. They got so many different things. Y'all, everybody got the PayPal. $Berean Teach. We appreciate y'all. We gonna jump off here, but we gonna pick it up this week. We gonna get y'all gonna get that business. They ain't gonna like it, but y'all gonna get that business. I love y'all. God love you too, man. We take care of yourself.